Good morning, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. It is May 12th, 2019. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive guide, and empowerment coach. And I'm here with this week's messages from your angels by astrological rising sign. But before we start, I just want to tell you a couple things. First of all, we've got some new readings I have on Lotta's site. We've got a one-question reading that you can get in a few days, the turnaround, or hi, Chuck, welcome back. And we got 1, 2, and 3 question readings that you can get. If you need a 24-hour, good morning, small wildflowers. Welcome back, everybody. I'm so excited. Happy Mother's Day to all you guys, mothers. And if you are not the mother of a human kid, then if you're the mother of a furry baby like me, I welcome you. Happy Mother's Day to you too. So it's going on. So there's a few new services on the site. I've got an Akashic Records reading, a Meet Your Team of Spirit Guides reading. Go ahead and check it out. They're pretty reasonably priced. And I am very excited to announce that we have a winner this week. Yay! Thank you very much, VK. It's nice and cool here in Laguna this morning. Okay, so a couple things. Oh, well, happy birthday to your daughter, and happy Mother's Day to you. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we have a winner. It was Sharon Q. The number is 122. Hope y'all can see that. Let me try it over here. There we go, 122. So Sharon Q, you have 1 week to reach out to me through Lotta's site. You can do it via email, or I have a, if you're in the United States, you're welcome to text me. If you're international, please do not. But anyway, so the link will be below in the information. Oh, hi, Devin. I was the mommy of 2 kitties for a while, but now I'm just the mommy of 1 little poochie. Okay, now one other thing. Somebody asked if I would go over the numbers so that you guys don't call out these numbers. So I went through and figured it out. And the numbers that are out of play, and I'm only gonna, I don't know how long I can keep this up. But I'll just let you know now. Do not play these numbers. These are the weeks that have gone by. 319, 473, 406, 77, 186, 490, 327, 338, 32, and 122. Okay, so there's a recap of the weeks that we've done, of the numbers. Do not use any of those. The range is between 1 and 500, and the numbers I just called off are out of play. Okay, so that was all the business. I'm going to pull a new number. Whoop, there we go. Stick it in the envelope, and the game has begun again. Okay, put that there. All right, let's go on and start with Aries. Welcome, Cheryl. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so this goes by astrological rising sign. If you don't know your rising sign, you can go to Lotta's website, and she's got a free birth calculator there. You do need to know your birth time, because that does make a difference with those fast-moving planets. I don't recall anything. I haven't noticed anything big happening in the skies this week. I think next weekend we've got a full moon coming in Scorpio. But other than that, I haven't checked anything this week. Welcome to Tasha. Okay, so the numbers are for winning a free half-hour reading with me. If you're the first person to pick a number, either in the live chat or in the comments afterwards, you get to win. And this week, Sharon Q won a half-hour free reading. She has this week to redeem it. She doesn't have to book it. She just has to get in touch with me and say yes. So yay for her. And the numbers that I said earlier are out of play. Those are the weeks we already have. Chuck, you're out of range. It's between 1 and 500. Okay. Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy to see everybody here. Okay, so we're starting with Aries rising. I use, for those of you that are new here, since there's so many of you this week, welcome India, Safara, I think it is. I use messages from your angels. It is a Doreen Virtue deck. I have used it for years, so I don't attach any meaning to Doreen with it, but I do, I've worked my own sort of language with it. I also couple it with a deck that I believe is called The Legend of Avalon, or The Myth of Avalon. It's by Colette Baron Reed. And what I do is I pull 4 cards from each deck and I marry them together. The first position represents the foundation of which the angel's advice is sitting on for this week, the current climate, energetic climate. The second position represents the opportunity and or the obstacle. Every opportunity has an inherent obstacle and vice versa. Then we have the angel's advice for taking advantage of the opportunity or getting around the obstacle. And the final position is the potential outcomes for the week. Okay. All right, Chuck, I don't know what those little icons are, but no funny business here. Mommy Love Griffin, you are out of range with 555. If you're playing the game, it's between 1 and 500. Okay, here we go. Aries rising. Okay, our first angel is Sonia. The second is Ariel. The third is Maya, and the final is Adriana. All righty. Okay, I'm going to see all those numbers. All right. Okay, joining Sonia, we have the dragon. Joining Archangel Uriel is the Lady of the Lake. Joining Maya is the focus card. And joining Adriana is the Wind Fairy. All right, my Aries rising. Okay, so Sonia represents the deceased loved one coming from the other side saying hello, that I'm well and safe in heaven. But when we talk about a big collective and how many potential people there could be watching this, it really talks about your guides and your angels watching over you. And here's the dragon. The dragon represents power and strength. And when you look at her, she's very, I always think of it as a feminine energy. She's like sitting very calmly. She's watching over a very cool land. She's not the least bit ruffled up. And I want to say this because I believe for Aries rising this week, okay, I think it's time to, Chuck's going to have to leave the room. Hold on a second, guys. We're just going to have to, okay. All right. So what I'm saying for Aries rising is this week, I really believe that your power and your strength comes in your connection with your personal team, your guides, your angels, and talking to them as if they are your friends. Really engaging them, because in your opportunity, your obstacle is Archangel Uriel. And Archangel Uriel and the Lady of the Lake. Archangel Uriel in this particular deck really focuses in on anger, frustration, annoyance, unforgiveness, not being able to let something go. And the Lady of the Lake represents my deeper truth. And I really believe for Aries rising that there is power. There is power in our deeper truth when we are not masking it with a bunch of scenarios, with a bunch of situations. Oftentimes when we are not happy, we will tend to stack things up to make our point, say, you know, look why I'm so hurt. And what we really don't address is the actual hurt. And that's what the Lady of the Lake is talking about. And so I think what in the angel's advice, the Maya and the focus card are really offering you an opportunity to focus in on the deeper truth of what you have and to learn about how that energy shifts the situation. I have Adriana and the Wind Fairy in the final position for Aries rising. This is the Wind Fairy is about overthinking things sometimes, over analyzing things. And Adriana is actually about being led towards the answers to my prayers and my dreams. So we go back to Sonia. This is where you connect with your team and you ask them to make the path very clear for you. And if you're feeling unforgiveness in your heart, I would ask you to ask Spirit to give you the lens to see the situation, the person, the dynamic through a new perspective, so that you could almost put yourself in their shoes. Because when we speak our deeper truth, it's easier for the other person to, they empathize with us, because oftentimes our deeper truth is their deeper truth. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want to be appreciated. I want to be loved. It's Mother's Day. This morning I went to the market. I don't know if you can see the flowers behind me. I bought myself a bouquet. And I can't tell you how many men were in the flower department with bedhead, because they were running in to get their wives and the mother of their children gifts. And, it's kind of I can imagine that from the mother's point of view, it's, you're just doing the bum's rush. But, if we put ourselves in another person's, I guess what I'm trying to say is the deeper truth is that to look how people are trying to show you their appreciation, and also to I guess how I want to put it is to teach somebody how to show you their appreciation. Because I feel like I want to use this Mother's Day as kind of an example. If you've been a mother for a while and, you've done the brunch thing and the flowers thing and the whole, the same old thing, then maybe it's time to mix it up and give the people around you an opportunity to do something different by you thinking outside the box. So I suggested this to a client, to put your desires in a bowl. Oh, I'd love to go, to the beach, or I'd love to go skiing, or I'd love to go to the botanical gardens. I mean, it could be anything from big to small. Throw them all in a little bowl. So when your loved ones want to show you appreciation, they can go into that bowl, pull some things out, and you'll be surprised, and yet you'll still like what they do for you. I feel like this is what I'm talking about, is getting to the deeper truth, Aries rising. Geez Louise. Good morning, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. And let me just take care of this too. Hold on. I need to, okay. All right. I'll be dropping these guys out of the room today. We've got no time for your nonsense, dolls. Okay. So finally, I know I might feel like I'm harping a little bit on Aries rising, but I want to say this because there's a part of, I feel like Aries rising is a little bit in their head about how things are going to work out. How am I going to be able to shift what it is I want? I got a little off topic here with the room. So I just want to offer it this. This week, do your best to get out of your head and ask Spirit to give you those 3 signs so that you can be led further along into saying your authentic truth about what makes you feel loved and appreciated, and then knowing how that can shift the energy and to see how you actually engage those around you. Okay. On we go. It's all right, small wildfires. They're a little, just a little rough. I kind of had to jump in and little snarky. I guess they were feeling what Archangel Uriel is trying to clear out. All right, we're going to go into Taurus rising. Just want to tell everybody this space on Sunday mornings is about, it's kind of a celebration. It's really a time to connect with your guides and your angels, to get advice from them on how to swim through these astrological dynamics. Because as sure as the sun rises and sets, guys, you are swimming through them, whether you realize it or not. And what I hope we all as a collective group do on Sunday mornings is to send out that warm vibe to everybody throughout the week, so that we kind of set the tone, and kind of get our mojo together as a collective. And so if we get a little rough with you guys that aren't playing, by the rules, and the rules is love is here, kumbaya, sorry, I'm a hippie, been one my whole life. We're going to have to just kick you out. All right, here we go. Taurus rising, and I'm a Taurus moon, which may be why I'm like this. Okay, so here, let's go. All right. Well, welcome, Veronique. from Holland. I don't know if it's Mother's Day there, but if you're a mother, it is a mother here, Mother's Day here in the United States. So I want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. My Taurus moon is a nice placement because it's exalted. It's kind of fun there, but it's a very strong part of my personality. And then I have that Aries rising, the two together. So fun. Okay. Well, happy Mother's Day. All right, here we go, Taurus rising. Our first angel is, Serena. The second is Akasha. The third is Teresa. And the final is Mystique. Okay. All right, joining Serena, we have the Raven. Joining Akasha, we have the Novice. Joining Teresa, we have the Deer. And joining Mystique, we have the Dog. Wow, okay, this is really good for Taurus rising. All right, Serena is the angel of money. I'm telling you, she is just all relaxed. Can you see her eyes are closed? She's saying, you know, the money that you need is coming, and God is in charge of how that money is going to happen. And here is the Raven, which is all about timing, synchronistic events, and magic. And you know, magic for me is really just it's actually alignment with my intention and with source energy. So for Taurus rising, any resources that you need, whether it be money, whether it be for instance, let's say your computer was on the glitch. You don't necessarily need money to get that fixed. You could find a friend or somebody who knows somebody who could fix it for you. So I always like to put it as resources, and then relax. So don't be concerned about money. I'm trying to say, be faithful that resources are coming. And then, because what I want to say here is that you have something to learn about resources, because here is the Novice and here is Akasha. The Novice is really talking about skill without practice. It's talking about new beginnings, unstable new beginnings, curiosity. And then we have Akasha, the spiritual teacher. So you have something to learn and a new beginning about resources, about timing. Because oftentimes, you know, we look at things from our perspective, from where we're sitting on the planet. And we're just like a little bit of an ant compared to what spirit can see from what's happening over here. And if we got maybe the little bit of money that we thought we were going to need, let's say you're building a business and you wanted a loan, or you wanted some sort of financial backing, and it didn't come through, let's just say. And then down the line, something better came along. Either that came back around and the deal is better, you're not going to have to pay as much interest, or somebody comes in like an angel investor and gives you money without you even having to work towards it, or a resource towards you not having to work towards it. Because in the angel's advice, I have Teresa and the Deer. And Teresa is a card of worry for me. And then the Deer is a card of fear. You know, we always talk about the deer in the headlights. So the angels are asking you can learn something. Your Taurus rising is learning how to trust the signs and the omens of looking at fear, and rather than having it tank you and pulling you under, you have an opportunity to start to see how fear can empower you. Because as you walk through a fear, you become more empowered to walk through the next fear. Because the final position is the Dog, which represents unconditional love, loyalty, and sincerity. And here is Mystique. Mystique is a card of process. It's a card of coming out of the dark and into the light. So things aren't quite in play, which is what the Raven is saying. The Raven is telling you that the resources that you need, it's a matter of timing. And your job in the meantime is to hold the line of that's just a matter of when, not if. So That's what I want to say. And Taurus in general, the second house rules possessions. It rules money. Money and possessions also indicate our self-worth. So it's sort of a trickle effect. So as Taurus rising becomes more faithful that God is in charge of how the resources are coming, you actually send out this ripple effect that becomes quite powerful in your manifestation, because the next time you do it, it's going to be quicker. And the time after that, it's going to be quicker. And then you're going to get really in a rhythm. And then all that bullish stubbornness will make you believe in yourself in a way that you never knew you could. Okay, let's go on. So, I'm sorry, somebody put in a number in the chat that was like 212, like 2012. If that's a number for the game, it's out of range. So you want to keep the number between 1 and 500. And if you go to the beginning, I have listed the numbers that are already out of play. So you can check that in the replay. Okay, everybody. Oops. Thank you, Small Wildfires, catching that one quick. Thank you, Bonnie. Okay, we're going on to Gemini's rising. Pisces is last, I know. I tried doing it backwards, you guys, and I'm really I end up forgetting somebody. So I kind of, in this respect, I just stick to the program. I'm sorry, Pisces. I love you, though. My dog is a double Pisces. He's got a Pisces sun and a Pisces rising and an Aries moon. Okay, so here we go, on to Gemini. Gemini rising. And also, you guys, listen for your moon and listen for your sun. I think that the moon is very important because the moon represents our emotions. And I'm a Taurus moon, so I'm loyal, but also I can be stubborn sometimes. Oh, well, yeah, lots of times. Okay, here we go. Gemini rising. Our first angel is Layla. Our second angel is Ariel. Our third is Ray. And our final is Astera. I kind of getting this feeling like I want to say to everybody, we're moving into a time on this planet. It feels very much like Atlantis to me. It feels very much like a time of manifestation where the human is becoming able to manifest things in a way that they have never been able to before. So as we connect with that and we're connecting with spirit in our manifestation, we saw that with Serena and the magical timing of the raven with in Taurus rising. I feel like we are going to become more and more the generations coming ahead. We briefly talked last week about the crystal children, and somebody mentioned the diamond children. There really are major manifestors coming onto this earth plane to show us the way this can be heaven on earth. So let's block this old man Bob. He's just got to go. Yeah, he's nasty. That's why he's old man Bob, I guess. I'm old lady Teri, but I'm young lady Teri. All right, I'm going to go back because I'm going to manifest Bob out. What I want to say is that as we give life to this idea that we are more powerful than we ever have been before, and we have more resources to manifest, and as we connect to it, we're not in a depression anymore. We're not in a place of having to fight for our survival nowadays. So as we connect to that, it's almost like the gift that we give others to give ourselves permission to follow our dreams. And as we align to that, and we align to the solution of it, and then we look at spirit as sort of leading the breadcrumbs, the Hansel and Gretel breadcrumbs, we follow those. We tell them where we want to go, and then spirit shows us how to get there. We stay out of the how. We stay into the how it feels once I get there. And then things are going to start to manifest very quickly, because what you're going to hear from me week after week is Spirit encouraging you to align with that. And not just to align with the laws of attraction, but to align with the laws of allowing, to allow those good things in, to allow these things into our hearts, and to think, you know what? What if I am one of those people that incarnated to what starts off like looking like a challenging dynamic, and then I get to move into this place of what feels like reward, because it's not just about having massed material wealth, but also choices and freedom. Freedom of choices, to go where I want to go, to be where I want to be, to sit with those I want to sit with, to wake up when I want to wake up. That's what I believe heaven on earth is really that freedom to create whatever I want and allow that for others. So I say that because as I'm pulling up for Gemini, I'm starting to really feel like this I hear this choo-choo train in my head, and it's starting to leave the station. It's starting to get momentum. And I think those that gather here on Sunday are part of a team to sit in your little place on the earth and to engage in this very dynamic, to allow yourself to dream, and not to dream like pie in the sky, but to dream like, if I can dream it, I can make it happen. And then look what happens. We're like lights all over the world. It's kind of crazy, amazing, and cool. And I don't know if you imagine those sort of like, have you ever seen those Chinese lanterns as they start to, you light them and they go up into the heavens? That's what like we all are on the earth, and how it looks from Spirit's point of view. And that's kind of cool. Not kind of cool. That's really cool. All right. Okay, I jaw on a lot, you guys. And thanks for those of you who put numbers in or timestamps, so when I finally get to the reading, you can you don't have to hear all the other stuff if you don't want to. Yes, thank you, Small Wildflowers. I love you. I just can't do without you now. Okay, here we go. We're adding to Layla, the Lady of the Lake. Ariel is joined by the Fear card. Ray is joined by the Hawk, and Astera is joined by the Stag. Okay, so, I have these little conversations between cards, and it seems like they really mean something, because Layla is my walking meditation. She's about getting out in nature and allowing Spirit to show you nature in a way that can confirm how you're feeling. When I see bunnies, I always feel very prolific. That's a message. When I see lizards and the tail is gone, I remember that it will grow back. There are all these dynamics out. Even seeing an ant. An ant is a tenacious little creature and can carry, I don't know, like 10 times its weight or something ridiculous like that. This is what Spirit wants for Gemini this week, because it's time to, again, get down to our deeper truth of what we want for ourselves, to really allow ourselves not to dream from a place of what I think I can create or what I should be doing in this time. Oh, I'm this age, I should be doing this. I'm this age, I should have had this by now. You'll drive yourself nutty. No, go to your deeper truth and know that as you stand in that, you're part of a team that shows that, it's not just youth that creates, but the whole journey of the human experience. Because in the opportunity or the obstacle for Gemini rising, I have Ariel. And Ariel says that new psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view yourself and the world. And then we have the Fear card. And I'm going to tell you this is like, it seems crazy to say this, but fear is our friend in some ways, because fear is what gives us the opportunity to experience empowerment. It is the thing how we experience tenacity. It's how we experience our dreams, because we see that the fear, and then if we acquiesce to it, then yes, it tanks us. But when we walk through it, it is the most exciting and exhilarating thing that the human can feel. And that gives us that self-love to move on to the next hurdle. And then it invites other people in, because we're inviting them in a way that says, I know that, you're doing you, and I know you'll have those challenges, and thank you for supporting me energetically while I do me. Because as you connect with Spirit, you start to see the wisdom of what it is those fears have to do for you. The hawk is about rising above my fears. When I first became, hawk became a huge totem for me. I was in a meditation, and all of a sudden I felt like I went to Australia, and I was sitting on the top of a hill looking in a valley, and it was dry, like August, just like you could light a match and it would just go up in smoke. And there was nothing in the valley at all. It was all by myself. All of a sudden, I feel an Aborigine sitting to my right. And I look over, and he looks at me and he tells me to now look back down into this valley. So I look into the valley, and all of a sudden there's just boar running everywhere. Dust is flying. It's like nose to butt. It's just nobody knows why. Somebody got spooked and the whole herd just took off. So I look back at him and I get, okay, fear. And then he says, he doesn't say a word. He just looks up, and there's the hawk, just floating above the herd and thinking, what are these dumb pigs running from? So this is what I always feel when I see hawk. And then when I look at Ray is sitting in a meditative position. If I am sitting in fear, connect to spirit in a way that's saying, this is how it will feel once I've walked through this fear. I'll be empowered by it, because in the final position, Gemini rising and also Gemini moon and Gemini sun is the leadership card in the form of the stag. And I have Astera saying to reach for the stars with your dreams and your desires and don't compromise. This is in direct relation to the Lady of the Lake and Layla saying, it's time to get real with what you really want, not what you think you should want. Not, if you're childbearing years and everybody around you thinks you'd make the greatest mom in the world and you don't want to be a mom, that's okay. It's totally okay. Because maybe there's things you want for yourself. It's not about anything that anybody else wants for you, Gemini rising. It's about what you want for you. And then you get to stand in leadership for those who also say, I want it to be about me too. Okay. Welcome, Dimitri. Never late. Better late than never. You're here. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. I want to say again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there and all the furry baby moms too. I have my furry baby. He's here somewhere, sleeping. All right, we're going to go on to Cancer rising. Okay. And just to remind you all, we're playing the game again. We announced a winner today, Sharon Q, won with number 122. So excited about that. And you have 1 week to claim your free half-hour reading. And I'm beginning to think, because so often people don't win, I'm really thinking that Spirit is reaching out to certain people wanting to send them messages. And remember, the number ranges between 1 and 500. And I did a recap of the numbers that are out of play at the beginning of this broadcast. So you can check there so you don't duplicate a number that's already out. All right, let's go on to Cancer rising. Here we go. Hi, Robert. Welcome. Orphan, love to see you. Always good to see you. Joshua, love to see you. Goliath, welcome. I think it's Sandra. Evolved Love. Oh, I'm so happy to see everybody here. All right. Cancer rising. Our first angel is Serena. The second is Oceana. The third is Isaiah. And the final is Akasha. Okay. Here we go. Hello, India. Sumi? I've been in so much into Shiva meditations lately. I can't tell you. It's been really magical in some ways how some of these, I go to YouTube and I search these different meditations. And this Shiva one is just really transports me somewhere. Okay. I have no idea what they're saying, by the way. I wish I did. Okay. Joining Serena, we have the High Priestess. Joining Oceana, we have the Frog. Joining Isaiah, we have the Raven. And joining Akasha, we have the Stag. Okay, take a sip of my tea. All right. Serena, the Angel of Abundance. the angel of money, straight up money, resources, everything you need to make you feel secure. And then we have the high priestess. The high priestess is really about discernment. It's about prophecy. It's about my vision of the future. I want to say for my Cancer rising, it feels a little bit like this is time to trust your instincts. The money's on its way if it hasn't already arrived. And if you have an unnatural feeling, don't go spending it before it comes, by the way. But I feel like you need to trust that whatever resources you need to move your story forward, they're on the way. Because I'm jumping to the fourth position. We have, again, the Stag and Akasha. This is the leadership card, and it's also the teacher card. So as you trust that your resources are coming, because Spirit has shown me over and over again, money is like air. And the only time you need to hoard air is when you're scuba diving and you're going into an environment where there is no air. As long as you can align with your own abundance, that is truly where the money will come from. And you cannot really define it. Even if you have a job where you have a set income and you go, but this is all the money I have, this is all the resources I know about. You don't know that there's not some random bank account that your parents opened for you when you were a kid that shows up. You don't know that if somebody gives you a lottery ticket for your birthday that you're not going to win money. You kind of have to rise out of it. You have Cancer rising. You have to sort of give it a bigger picture, okay? Because this is not about being in this earth right now. The high priestess is really more about vision, and also it's about trusting the inner knowing. It's the ultimate feminine energy in many ways. Now we have, in the opportunity or the obstacle, we have Oceana. She's saying to lovingly assert yourself towards the things that you want. And this is the frog. The frog is about emotional cleanup. And when I say that, I mean it's like, because I don't believe I can release anything. My life has happened to me. I have memories of everything that's happened to me. And some of the more challenging dynamics tend to stick with me. And I don't come from people that do very well in apologizing. In fact, I find people in general have a trouble apologizing, sincerely. We get so defensive. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that as I learned, the frog helps me. I reconcile things. I learn from the energy. I pay attention to things, and then I don't set people up to piss me off, frankly. So if somebody I know is, chronically late, I'm not going to expect them to be on time. I'm going to expect them to be late, because this is where the cleanup comes and taking loving action. Now we're going back to Serena and money. So how does Cancer rising assert yourself and allow yourself to release whatever challenges you have about resources? Because Isaiah and the Raven are here, and they're saying it's time for you to give birth to new ideas and new situations, and that God and the angels are watching over you while you give life to these situations. And there's the Raven. The Raven is about timing. It's about magic. Magic is simply, it is unadulterated alignment with my intention. It's being able to put the how will it happen in its own place over here, because you don't have to avoid being scared. You don't have to avoid not knowing and having trepidation about it. It's just the focus of not knowing is putting your intention in the wrong direction. So this is where you turn it over. And this is how Akasha not only teaches you, you get to stand as a leader for yourself and for others. This is we're moving into this sort of weird Atlantean time. I don't know why I want to put it that way, but we're so, as people, as humans, we are really entering a time of creation. It's not about survival. We don't have to cross the plains in a covered wagon, to a new land. We are here, and in many ways, freer than we've ever been, regardless of what country that you're living in right now. The world is evolving. And so as we grab onto our idea of what makes us feel abundant and relaxed and taken care of and trust, it's not giving it over to God. It's co-creation. So you give over your part, which is taking, when I say Cancer rising, your part, I don't mean sitting back and not doing anything. I mean, it's sort of like, okay, I get that I'm worried a little bit, but even though I'm worried, here's how it feels once I, feel secure financially. And then God and the angels start to open things up, and your job is to walk through that. Your job is to be brave enough to take that, that risk, throw your hat in the ring for that job, or pay attention to, oh, I saw this 3 times. What does that mean? Paying attention. That's how you learn. Okay, on to Leo rising. Excuse me, got a little frog in my throat. Frog in my throat. Okay. The energy feels much better in the room. Thank you, small wildflowers. Oh my goodness, it just feels much, much more in alignment with who we are as a group. Sacred Sunday, I like to call it. Okay. I would have called it Super Soul Sunday, but somebody already stole that name. Okay, here we go. Okay, so just as a reminder, everybody, the numbers range to win a free half hour with me is 1 to 500. And it must be in the comments, and it must be, or in the live chat. You can't email me through Lotta's site. She won't even send it to me. She'll see it and she'll just discard it. Okay, here we go on to Leo rising. Okay, our first angel is Rochelle. Our second is Mystique. Our third is Merlina. And the final is Astera. This is fun. Okay. Oh, enjoy, Robert. And I hope your mother has a nice Mother's Day. Thanks for stopping in. Okay. Here we go. Look, I have 119 people in the chat and 19 likes. There's a number. Oh, 1 to 120. Okay. Here we go. Joining Rochelle is the forgiveness card. Joining Mystique is the water fairy. Joining Merlina is the frog. And joining Astera is the risk card. Okay, Leo rising. This is interesting. So the forgiveness card, for those of you that are new to my show, is not about forgiveness. In my world, in my life experience, in the 59 years that I've been here on the planet, going to be 60 in October, I've had troubles with people who say they're sorry for things and then they do the same thing over and over again. And then they just say things like, well, that's who I am, get over it. So what the forgiveness card turned into was reconciliation for me. It's being able to understand. I said it earlier. If somebody's chronically late, then I'm not going to expect them to be early. And if they're do it enough, then I have to honor my heart and take care of me and not put myself in a situation to be annoyed. But for Leo rising, Rochelle talks about as you honor and follow the guidance of your heart, prosperity is coming to you. Now, for me, this prosperity is not necessarily about money. It's thriving and feeling balanced and harmonious in the various facets of who I am in the human experience, in my intimate body, in my financial body, in my spiritual body, in my mental body, in my physical body, in my family body, in all those varying light reflecting parts of the human experience. Because as you honor what you want and you can reconcile that you deserve to have those things, sometimes Leo gets a little bit of a bad rap because Leo's ruled by the sun, and people can kind of say Leo comes in the room and charms everybody and steals the spotlight. But and so in that respect, don't dumb down. It's about balance between stealing the spotlight and having the spotlight and then giving it to others. So when you can reconcile that and how you can be you, without going to extremes from one to the other, because in the opportunity, the obstacle is Mystique. Mystique is, again, it's a process. It's a process that as you continue to move forward with what you want, you will actually this is about miraculous solutions. And then we have the water fairy, which is all about my intuitions. And I feel like if Leo rising doesn't follow their own path, it really does not lead to anybody feeling good. It doesn't feel good because if you don't feel good, I don't think those around you will feel good. And I'll just go in order, because here's Merlina and the frog. Right now, Leo rising, you're still in process. That's what Mystique is saying. And the angel's advice is you're confused and indecisive because you don't have enough information. So this would be a pause. This would be a pause. And then here's the reconciliation card. Sometimes when we're endeavoring something, it isn't just about our constant forward motion. Move, 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 move. No, sometimes it's about taking Spirit's lead and taking action and then waiting for the next sign to move forward. And that's what I think this is. This is more about trusting my gut and continuing to trust my gut. That's my opportunity or my obstacle, because you're unsure. There's not an answer yet. And here we have Astera and the risk card in the final position. The risk card is really about risking a bigger picture of what it is that you want. That's Rochelle. And the forgiveness card in a reconciliation way, it means I've made sense of it. It was worth the risk, because as you start to collect on the things you want. Again, here we are as a collective group of souls on this planet, sort of being this light, these light beings that as we choose to selflessly create our lives, we give permission to others to selflessly create their lives. And then we start having happier people on the planet. And this becomes the nirvana, the heaven, the Gaia that it was meant to be. Okay, let's go on to Virgo rising. Okay. Fuzzy Wuzzy, these readings are for the week. And what they are focused in on is actually helping you traverse your life. You know, I believe that all these transits and everything that's going on in the stars, everything affects us. It's just part of the human experience. It's like if we go into the ocean, the tides affect us, the water, whatever it is. If it's stormy, it's good morning, Heidi. It's going to be different than if it's calm, and it's the same thing in the skies. So what the focus of my work is to have the angels give each rising sign an opportunity to connect with them, to get advice on how to traverse these vibrations. And whether or not, you hear like when someone is in rough waters, I'm going to use the ocean again. Like, let's say you've been body surfing, right? And when a big wave comes, it's about kind of going under the wave and then relaxing versus fighting the wave so that you can come up to the surface quicker. I think this is what Spirit is trying to do, is give people advice and guidance on how to traverse these waves and to relax through it so that we can rise to the surface and then to stand in the truth of who we are, which is creators. Okay, so on to Virgo rising. Oh, orphan, that means 33 for me is a number of the master teacher. It's a number of someone who is in the midst of learning what they already, or remembering what they already know in many ways, and then capitalizing on it. So oftentimes I don't think a teacher is here to stand in front of others and talk, because words don't teach, experience teaches. So as others experience you standing in your 33 vibration, and that is alignment to source energy. That is keeping your eye on the prize of what it is you want to experience versus what it is you are experiencing right now. Donovan, I too have a life path 33. So that's how I know about that number. But again, it's a work in progress. It's not necessarily about having mastered that number. It is, but it is definitely meaning that you're in that class. You're in the master class. So you're mastering the teaching, and the teaching is through experience. All right, on to Virgo rising. Well, thank you, Shauna. Okay. All right, here we go. Give it a good shuffle. All right. Our first angel is Shanti. Ooh, and then Rochelle and Sonia came out together. And Archangel Raphael. Awesome. All right. Okay. Joining Shanti is the movement card. Joining Rochelle is the truth card. Joining Sonia is the cow. And joining Archangel Raphael is the spider. Okay. So here we go, Virgo rising, you dolls. Okay. So Shanti is the angel of peace. But I have to say, before that peace can come in, whatever is disrupting that peace has to be moved out. And then we have the movement card. So you can bet your dollars that the disruption is being moved out. And I want to say this because it feels a little bit like Virgo is taking a little bit of I want to say a turn, but a turn for a more faithful turn is, guess what I'm saying? I feel like in the opportunity, the obstacle, Rochelle, we just got done talking about, as I honor and follow the guidance of my heart, and there's the truth. You know, I always feel like Virgo kind of struggles a little bit with their heart because they want to know how they're going to get there, what's going to go on. They get kind of into the plan. Okay, as long as I know how we're getting there, here we go. And so often, as we honor our heart, the heart doesn't know anything but its emotions. It knows how it feels. It doesn't always know how it's going to get there. So this Shanti allowing the disruption of okay, maybe I don't need to know the how of everything, because I feel like Virgo rising is learning to connect with spirit. Here's Sonia, your guides, and here's the abundance card. It's also the card of asking and receiving. It's the card of nourishment. So here it is again, always connecting. Whenever we are manifesting anything, it is a be, do, have. And the being is my belief, my disposition, my attitudes, what I think about myself. And as I do the being, I feel like this beam going up above my head because I'm connecting with spirit, with my being, and then I go into my doing behavior, because that's the key to the manifestation. Because I'm telling you guys, Virgo rising, I think it's time for your manifestation. The spider talks about creative projects, but I always think about that poor fly that gets into that web. It's not coming out. And then there's Archangel Raphael. Again, another card of reconciliation for me. Archangel Raphael will talk about a physical healing, and some of you may actually be going through some physical challenges that are coming around the backside and reconciling themselves and getting in balance. But overall, I feel like this is more about, in some ways, conquering your own being energy, your own knowing on some level that you have the drive, the tenacity, and the determination to do what you need to do, and also learning how to let off the gas sometimes so the spirit can take over and then direct you into the next being, do energy. Okay, so overall, I want to say for Virgo rising this week, I don't know. What I feel like I'm going to see is I'm going to see a calming, like I'm going to feel more at peace. I'm going to feel more in rhythm with what is going on around me. And that rhythm is not necessarily, it's the rhythm of the energy, not necessarily the situations around you. Okay. All right. Going on to Libra. Oh, I'm sorry about storm. Are you on the East Coast? I don't know. I haven't checked the weather in forever, but it's been really weird here in California. I mean, it's May and it's been waking up with really dewy mornings. Rained the other night, been cloudy. I guess they say that's May gray, but here in Laguna, we have May gray, April showers, June gloom. It doesn't even get sunny until the end of August, and everybody's going back to school. All right. Happy Mother's Day to all the doggy and kitty mommies and the llama mommies and the froggy mommies and the bearded dragon mommies, all the mommies out there. Oh, All right. Well, we'll send some good vibes to you guys on the East Coast for some calm from the storm. All right, here we go, Libra rising. Okay. All right, Isaiah is our first angel. The second is Layla. The third is Archangel Uriel. And the final is Isabella. Okay. Oh, I love my little terrier. I have the perfect little lazy dog, I have to tell you. He's so chill. Watch, now he's going to get up and bark at the door or something. Okay, here we go, Libra rising. Joshua, I'll tell you, having a pooch in my life really just fills my world up. I got to tell you, he's just such a happy little guy. Okay, joining Isaiah, Libra rising, is the burden card. Joining Layla is the disruption card. Joining Archangel Uriel is the focus card. And joining Isabella is the Lady of the Lake. All right, Libra rising. Libra moon, Libra sun. And in that order. Okay, so I want to say this. Libra represents partnerships, both marriage and business. And we represent balance, justice, fairness. And I'm wondering, with Isaiah and the burden card in the foundational position, I'm wondering if some of my Libras aren't over balancing things, aren't maybe over compromising or being a little bit self-deprecating in some ways, because this burden card is really telling me it's time to kind of give birth to new ideas about how I am in relationship. And I say that because it feels like to me, I don't necessarily have a relationship card here, but I feel like as a Libra, I'm over giving, over extending, and I'm trying to be all things to all people, and I don't know if it's serving me really. Because in my opportunity, my obstacle is the disruption card and Layla. Again, Layla is my card of walking in nature and allowing nature to serve as spirit's device for giving me messages and to find an answer, to find a way to find the balance that Libra rising is looking for. Because I'm going to say in the angel's advice, if you seem to be focused on the challenge more than the solution, because you can't see the solution, and I think that's up to spirit right now. I think that there's the potential. I mean, it is May. Many of you Libra rising may be going through end of school year, wrapping things up in some ways. I just feel like when I look at the burden and the disruption card, I just feel like there's a lot of other people's agendas or other things that are coming into play that are disrupting your own path of what you want for yourself, or your own version of what you want for yourself. And yet through all of that, I have Isabella and the Lady of the Lake saying that it is time. Yes, the timing is right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive expectation. And the Lady of the Lake having the courage to say, you know what, Libra rising, I kind of got to put myself first. I'm not throwing everybody away or saying I don't care about you and I don't want to be responsible to you, but I have to take care of me so I can better take care of you. And that's where I feel like that's what the burden comes in, is expressing that very thing, giving thought and a new idea. Hey guys, you know what? I really need this little downtime for me so that I can jump back in and be better, well rested, in a better way of being. Okay, let's go on to Scorpio rising. Okay. Okay. Here we go, Scorpio rising. Here we go. Hey, Mickey, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I want to say, is it Zyga? You know, I'm 59 years old. I'll be 60 in October. And my whole life, I loved doing, studying spirituality. I studied the tarot and I studied reincarnation and, walk-ins and all sorts of angels, obviously angels, all sorts of different things and yearned to somehow do this work full time. And I could never see how it would be. It just seemed so. When I was growing up, most psychics were sitting on Venice Beach with a crystal ball and were pretty sketchy looking, called them gypsies, voodoos, So as I didn't really worry too much about my age, I just sort of kept allowing myself the privilege of having my own dream. And I'll tell you guys a little thing I did. Every Christmas for a few years, I wrote myself a letter. And it was sort of a declaration of the year ahead. It was an acknowledgement of the year behind me and how much effort I'd put in towards what it was I wanted to experience on this planet. And as I did that, it was almost like spirit started to really listen. And at the age of 54, 55, I had a moment where I got pissed off in my job and I quit my job and I had just enough momentum. And I started my own business, and you're looking at her right now, doing readings, doing empowerment coaching, and trusting what I'd learned in my path, and trusting that I was where I was supposed to be. So I'm saying all this because if you want to be a fashion designer, I don't care how old you are. I don't care how gray your hair is, how knotted your fingers may be. You just go for it, and you do it in small increments. Don't jump off the high dive, man. Do it in small increments. Give yourself a little bit of wiggle room to be a student in this dynamic. And then let spirit open doors for you, because as you honor and follow the guidance of your heart, spirit will open doors for you. And when you're fearful, that's okay too, because fear is the empowerment exercise. Fear is the thing that will really knock you all the way. I want to say not knock you out, knock you over, like it'll make you more tenacious every time you walk through it and make you stronger, All right, let's go on to Scorpio rising. Thank you so much, Zyga. Please, I really want you to follow the honor and follow the guidance of your heart. That's what the angels want. Because the things that we can manifest, I don't know, okay, I don't know if you guys have ever seen MasterChef Junior, where these little 8-year-olds are getting up on stools and making like creme brulee and crazy stuff. Those are those crystal children that I talk about that are coming to show us that we are here to create, and there is no age, there is no nothing to keep us but our own perspective, our own way of thinking. So as we break those little bubbles that say no, and instead replace them with why not? Why not me? Screw everybody else. No offense to your families, to the people you love. It's not like that. It's not about saying abandoning anybody. It's about having that light move you forward so that those that you love can come and say, okay, if my mom did that, well, maybe I can do it too. We at least I come from a generation where they'd say, if you want to do something creative, have a B plan. Well, I believe that the generations right now don't have a B plan, only a being plan. Your being energy. All right, here we go. Guys, I could talk all day long. I'll run out of battery juice. Okay, Scorpio rising, here we go. Yes, Scorpio rising. I'm finally getting to it. I have it well documented that I talk too much in class. I wish I lost all the things I own in a move back from North Carolina back in 2003. But if I had that, I would show you every week that it was well documented. Okay. Yes, Donovan, the crystal children are little masters. Absolutely. And we're to learn how to let go of that human body that says, no, I can't. I have to be this age. Okay, I'm going to stop. Scorpio rising. First angel is Fiona. The second is Akasha. The third is Azure. And the final is Archangel Uriel. Okay. Give it a good shuffle. Okay. Joining Fiona is the frog. Joining Akasha is the high priestess. Joining Azure is the Grail Knight. And joining Archangel Uriel is the wealth card. Okay. All right. This is interesting because, oh dear. I really have no idea why you guys bother to do crap like this. I'm going to tell you. Hopefully that's working. Okay. Sorry, guys. Profanity is not allowed in this room. Only out of my mouth. Sorry. Okay. Scorpio rising. We have the frog and Fiona. Fiona talks about now that you've asked God and the angels for help, be open to receiving their guidance. And then we have the frog. The frog is about emotional cleanup. It's about cleaning house. When I look at these together, it's sort of like at some point we can only, this is where I want to put this for Scorpio. Oh, dear goodness gracious. Let's just knock out this. Thank you, small wildflowers. I want you guys to know I meditated this morning because the trolls have been quite active recently. And I just have to say that we must be doing something right if they want to kind of poke into our room here. So let's send them some love. Apparently they need a little bit more to do, a little more purpose in life. So as a group, let's send them some love and then kick their ass out of the room. Okay, going on. All right, Scorpio rising. Let's start again. Okay, Fiona says, now that you've asked God and the angels to be open to receiving, okay? This is the frog is about emotional cleanup. I talked about earlier today that, something about the laws of attraction. And oftentimes we're like, we want to attract something, and we're like, yay, yay. And then we get it and we don't know how to receive it because we've been so engaged in the struggle of getting it. Because I'm going to jump to the fourth position here. I've got Archangel Uriel. Okay, and I have the wealth card. This wealth card for me is really about harmonious wealth. It's about feeling and thriving in many facets of the human experience. My physical body, my emotional body, my spiritual body, my intimate body, all the facets of the emotional experience. And then there's Archangel Uriel helping me, Scorpio rising, to deal with frustration, to deal with anger, to deal with Can we block that? I don't even want to say the name of that little thing there. I don't know if I do it at the same time. Just all the way out of the room. Yeah, there we go. Okay, Scorpio rising. This is the deal here, is that on some level, I feel like you've been talking to God and the angels about things that you want, and you're frustrated because it hasn't happened yet. It's like you put some sort of time limit on it. You put some sort of, I want to say this, like, for instance, you're a girl and you're pushing 30 and all your friends are, I don't know what's happened. Maybe they've got multiple accounts. Anyway, you're pushing 30 and you want to have, you're ready to get married. You want to have children. You want to have all those things. And it's crickets. Nothing's really happening. Sometimes when we view things, we view them kind of flat. Oh, I want to be married. Being married is not fun if you're married to the wrong person. It's not. It's a prison sentence. So as you allow that spirit in many ways is giving you a bigger story than you actually can imagine. You know that you may be frustrated right now because you haven't experienced this yet because okay, in your opportunity, your obstacle, I have Akasha. Akasha is the spiritual teacher and here is the high priestess. I wonder if when Scorpio rising is imagining what you want, if you're going into that place of this is what I think I can have. This is what I think I can be with. This is the type of thing I think I deserve. And so you're in some ways kind of dumbing it down because in the angel's advice, I have the Grail Knight. The Grail Knight is seeking the sacred. It is the romance card. It is also an illusion card. And then I have Azure saying that your desired outcome will happen in the near future. Now, this is in the angel's advice. This is about becoming very clean, Scorpio rising, with about what you want. You know, Scorpio is very rich and deep. You're ruled by Pluto and Mars. And so, you know, most of the connections that Scorpio looks for wants to be deep and connected and passionate and you know, I want to know you inside out, you know, kind of thing. And if indeed for some reason you haven't experienced that and you're frustrated, and I want to say this because I feel like it's the relationships that you've had have not maybe afforded that for you. So instead of being frustrated about it, see that spirit is somehow taking care of the deeper truth of what you want, the long-term truth. Because when you're married to the right person, life becomes too short. So I want to offer for Scorpio rising this week, really to come clean with the things that you want, to really come clean, no matter how trivial the outside world may think your dream is. I don't care. I don't care at all. Okay. My goodness gracious. It is a wildfire day. I want to say, Heidi Campbell, you were right on, right on, right on. And I thank you again for your insights. That's between me and Heidi. And I want to say this, Scorpio rising, if it's a little bit of a challenging week, be calm with yourself, be patient with yourself. And you have a full moon coming this weekend. So utilize that as we get closer to it. You know, the full moon is the moon at its brightest. So allow for whatever needs to move out, what the frog is offering, and then allow this to come in, the harmonious wealth that you're looking for. All right, let's go on to Sagittarius. Rising, Sagittarius rising. Okay. Yay. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that. I'm an Aries rising as well. All right, here we go. I don't see at Scorpionic Tarot, but I only see so much of the chat right now. Okay, we are on Sagittarius rising. Here we go. Thank you, Donovan. Yeah, let's send those trolls some love. The thing about it is they're so uninventive. You'd think they could come up with some clever repertoire. Like last week when we had the guy telling me I had a ghost behind me. That was funny. I could do that one. Okay. All right, here we go. Sagittarius rising. Thank you, everybody. I like my scarf too. It's fun. It's perfect for not being too warm or too cool. Okay. All right. Sagittarius, our first angel is Desiree. The second is Archangel Michael. The third is Fiona. And the final is Azure. Okay. All right. We have joining Desiree, we have the Novice. Joining Archangel Michael, we have the Focus card. Joining Fiona, we have the Raven. And then joining Azure is the eagle. All right, my Sagittarius rising. You know, this is kind of the funny thing. We talk, you know, this year we've talked a lot about Jupiter being in Sagittarius and how beneficial that is, and all this yummy stuff. And you know, sometimes these benefits aren't like big burning bushes. Sometimes they're more subtle. Sometimes they're more about a momentum that's building to anchor it into a more rooted and long-standing vibration. Because for Sagittarius rising, I have Desiree and I have the novice. Okay. Desiree talks about timing is not necessarily right, conditions aren't necessarily favorable, and the novice is about skill without practice. It's about curiosity, it's about beginning, it's ignorance, it's the fool card in many ways in the tarot deck. So, and I want to jump to the final position because it's actually the good news, because we have the eagle and we have Azure, and Azure is saying that your outcome is coming to fruition. It's time not to force it. It's time to have faith and not worry about the timing of it, because there's the connection to spirit. This is the angelic realm, and it's also about integrity. So when you stand in faith rather than in fear, you're giving spirit an opportunity to put things in balance in a more expeditious way, because in our opportunity, our obstacle, we have Archangel Michael, the great protector, but also asking us to have courage to make the changes that are going to move us towards the things that are going to bring our greatest happiness. And, you know, when we talk about making changes, it's not necessarily about moving our body from one place to another. Oftentimes, this is an interior shift in the way I'm thinking. And here I have the focus card. So as I focus in on, you know, what I really want, that's what Archangel Michael is saying. Do you have the courage to really focus in on what you really want, even though there may be no signs of it just yet? Because in the angel's advice, I have Fiona saying that now that you've asked God and the angels for help, be open to receiving it. And there's the timing issue. There's certain things that have to happen. Desiree was saying the timing is not right. So your job is to stand in this sort of unknowing place. That's what the novice is. The novice is embarking on a journey that he does not know where it will take him. And in many ways, trusting that outcome. This is awesome. This is awesome, frankly, for Sagittarius. Because again, this is sort of similar to a fear bubble in some ways, but it's not quite that extreme. It's just a matter of shifting your focus again and trusting. Sagittarius to me is sort of kind of a naturally happy sign. I know there's lots of dynamics in everybody's chart that can mess with that, and you know, not everybody's happy all the time either. But by nature, I feel like Sagittarius is sort of it's easier for you to step into a happy vibration when you allow yourself to sort of turn over the knowing and go into a more faithful place and sitting in the outcome of it. And then spirit will again start to give you those signs and those omens that saying you are sitting in the right place. And it's okay to take your foot off the gas every once in a while, because it is not about that you're not moving forward. But every once in a while, we've got to rest. We've got to stop in order to survey where we're at to make the next move forward. And so that's what spirit is going to do for you, Sagittarius. So this week, it's probably more about the law of allowing myself the privilege of being led and trusting that if I'm not constantly moving forward, it doesn't mean nothing's happening. It means things are happening. You've got God and the angels on your side. Okay, here we go on to Capricorn. And I'm just going to again mention, you guys, if you want to get a reading with me, there's some new services listed under the reader's menu on Lotta's site. My name is Teri Hunter. That's Teri. My last name is Hunter, Hunter. And you can get like a 1-question reading. If you do order something that you want within 24 hours, the price doubles. It's in the fine print. Other than that, it takes usually 2 or 3 days to get your reading, depending upon what you order. So hope you'll take advantage of that. I'm hoping to run a special soon, just trying to kind of figure out what we want to do. And then also, we're playing the game. You can win a free half-hour reading with me. That is put a number between 1 and 500 in the live chat or in the comments. And the first person who gets the number that we drew this week will have an opportunity to win or will win. And last week's winner was Sharon Q with the number 122. So this number's out of play. And Sharon Q, you have 1 week to claim your prize. Okay, on to my goats. Here we go, my goats. Capricorn rising, everybody. All right. Wow, Archangel Uriel again. Archangel Daniel. Daniel is here. Astera is here. And Ray is here. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, a cute little icon of a goat. Okay. All right. Archangel Uriel is joined by the Grail Knight. Daniel is joined by the Burden card. Astera is joined by the Fear card. And Ray is joined by the Water Fairy. Very interesting, Capricorn rising. Okay. So I want to say this. I talk about my goats you guys, I always think of you as such a strong leadership energy. I just have such a fondness for Capricorn and Saturn. And yet this week when I look down, I feel like Capricorn's feeling slightly emotional. Maybe it's logic has kind of got you this week and you're feeling interesting because we have the Grail Knight. The Grail Knight is about romance. It's about seeking the sacred, not only in myself, but also in my relationships. And it's also about illusion. And then I have Archangel Uriel. He's been popping out here all day today. And I'm really kind of getting that this is a timing frustration issue with most people. I don't think this is really about anger or, the depths of unforgiveness. It really is feeling like I want things to happen now. I've been wanting it. I've been waiting for it. I've been doing all the right things. I've been doing my vision boards. I've been doing this. And that's really the ticket, Capricorn rising, is your doing energy. Check in on your being energy. What is your being energy before you're starting your endeavors? Because Daniel is the angel of marriage, the angel of partnerships, both intimate. Mostly this talks about intimate relationships, but I also want to say that when we endeavor in a work partnership, it is an intimate relationship because it's intimately connected to our finances, and our finances are intimately connected to our self-esteem. So I feel like maybe my goats have been feeling like a little burdened by having to, I talk about your being of leadership, but I also feel like you're looking for partnership that is more level. And that's why I'm going here. Like maybe you're frustrated in your partnerships because they're not standing where you want them to be. And I think if I remember correctly last week, I even talked about my goats allowing the people around them to be in a little bit more leadership to see how they show up. Because in the angel's advice, I have Astera saying to reach for the stars with your dreams and your desires and not to compromise. And then I have the Fear card. I don't think that you're in fear, like, trembling. I think it's more about like just kind of having to, always be the one in charge. And I feel like you're going to have to practice a little bit about being in charge because it's not fun to always be in charge, and it's not always fun to give up your power. So there's a balance to be had here. And I feel like Capricorn rising is working on finding that balance because here in the final position, we have Ray and we have the Water Fairy. And I feel like Capricorn doesn't get no one talks a lot about Capricorn necessarily being intuitive, but something, we are all intuitive. It's our natural being. It's our natural vibration. It's our natural state. It is the impetus of who we are. So even if if we're in a very earthbound sign like Capricorn that's ruled by fear, Saturn's fears, it's about being able to let those fears work toward for me. So here, I want to say, if there's any frustration, if you're feeling frustrated with the timing of things, like when will I ever find somebody who can, I can trust to drive the bus, somebody I can ask to do something and then they'll follow through with it. Now is time to start to turn it over and to see the effort that others are putting in that regard, even if it's not perfect, even if they haven't mastered it. I feel like this will start to help to lift the burden in partnership, to feel like your partners are more capable. And frankly, I'll say this too for my Capricorn rising. If for some reason you have adopted this more, I want to say open, like a give and take way of feeling in partnership with the people around you. And as you allow them to reveal themselves, if somebody doesn't show up, trust yourself. Then you will step up and do what you have to do because you're made that way. So this is really more about emotions. This is more about your spiritual body. This is more about how you view partnerships and your sense of responsibility within those partnerships. Because, my mom used to say something like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So it's kind of that. You can lead a goat to water, but you can't make them not be a leader. So while you're being a leader, allow others to show you what they're capable of too. And so you can relax a little bit. Okay, let's go on to Aquarius. It didn't feel like the most fun, but it didn't feel the most challenging either. I think it's something for Capricorn to be able to take in be more in the present and to feel some of the rewards that might be skipped over because you're busy taking care of other things, busy making sure everything is where it's supposed to be. Okay. Hello, London. Welcome. Good evening. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, to all those feminine energies. And I'm going to even say, if you are in a relationship that is of the same sex and you are taking the role of the matriarch, well, happy Mother's Day to you too. And to all my fur baby mommies. Here we go, Aquarius. Aquarius rising, everybody. Yeah. Oh, what you doing in there? So good to see everybody. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to say it. Don't be afraid to hit the like button. We love likes. It just makes us feel so good, especially on a trolley day, Trolley day. Okay, here we go. Aquarius rising. Our first angel is Ray. Our second is Mystique. Our third is Astera. And our final is Vanessa. Okay. All right. Joining Ray is the Perception card. Joining Mystique is the Spider. Joining Astera is the Trust card. And joining Vanessa is the Owl. This is very interesting. Okay. So Ray talks about yoga and exercise on the face of the card, and it's kind of funny because look at that. She's in a meditative position. She's literally sitting with her eyes closed and in the Om position. And I'm always struck by the light coming out of her forehead and above her head. It's my power center, it's my heart chakra, and it's my voice chakra. And I really believe that this is about Aquarius rising, going and turning over, sitting in meditation and turning over your wants and desires and whatever perceptions you have about them over to spirit, because I'm going to go straight into the final position, which is Vanessa and the Owl. And both are really sort of speaking to Vanessa asks, are you going to base your decisions on faith or fear? And Owl is going to say, are you looking at things from wisdom or deception? So it's sort of like this idea of of love or fear. And as you walk through this sort of week of again, it feels like there's a timing issue with most people. There may be, um, we're sort of standing in the moment of receiving something from spirit, and it hasn't quite arrived. And I feel like we have to stand in faith. Of course it will arrive, because mystique is the card of being in process. Keep charging ahead. Expect miraculous solutions. This is alignment to source energy. And then we have the spider. For me, the spider is always about the fly that gets in the web. Whatever's coming through is going to stick. And this is very much a creative project. It says creative projects, but it's also about being creative in the way that I'm thinking. I'm thinking in a way that says, you know what? I've been doing all the work. I've been charging ahead. I've been holding the line. I've been tenacious in my way of being, because Astera is saying, yes, hello, reach for the stars with your dreams and your desires, and do not compromise. And here's the trust card. So Aquarius rising. Right now, this is about your perception this week. It's about you sitting at that sort of, you've been to the drive-through, you've ordered your In-N-Out burger, and now, you don't go micromanage the guy on the side making your burger. You wait for it. Spirit is making your burger for you. And now it's your job to hang tough on the side that works for you, not against you, okay? Aquarius is ruled by Saturn traditionally, and that Saturn can really kind of spark up some sort of a real arduous road. We could really play with that. And when we've been wanting something and we've been wanting to experience something, we get so into the oh my gosh, I haven't experienced, that we really have challenges receiving it. And sometimes when it starts to show up, we miss the beginning parts of it because we're still in that, I got to push. So this is about sitting back. This is about really connecting with spirit and asking them to give you the perception to see all the little beautiful things that they're bringing you on the way, Aquarius rising, all those little signs and omens that are saying, yes, it's happening. Yes, it's happening. Okay, here we go to our final sign, Pisces. Such a fondness for my Pisces. So patient, my Pisces. Hang in there with my whole show. You guys are so fun. Thank you so much. Okay. Here we go, Pisces rising. Yes, indeed. Oh, wow. So are you in Hawaii? Are you somewhere in Hawaii, Donovan? Sunrise, huh? Okay, here we go. Oh, in Australia. Awesome. So it's Monday morning. Wow. Awesome. So thank you so much. Owls are white owl's very wild. That's a very cool, pure owl. Looking at the white owl, the white light, pay attention to that. That's important. Okay, here we go. Hello, Scotland. All right. Isabella is our first angel. Our second is Mystique. Our third is Merlina, and the final is Fiona. All right, yay. Pisces. Okay. All right, Isabella is joined by the Disruption card. Mystique is joined by the Leadership card. The Fire Fairy joins Merlina, and the Deer joins Fiona. Wow. Okay. So this is interesting. Sometimes when we want something, we think about the idea of getting it. Oh, it'd be so cool to be da-da-da-da-da. And then we get it and we're like, oh my goodness, that would mean I'd have to travel all the time, or I'd have to do this all the time, or da-da-da-da-da. Because it's interesting for Pisces rising. This is kind of interesting. Yes, the timing is right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive expectation. And then there's the Disruption card. Disruption, when we look at it, we always think, oh no, something bad's going to happen. But if we've been sitting in sort of a crappy place, that has to be disrupted in order for, it's a Shanti energy, in order for what we want to come through. So I feel like this is really a stretch for Pisces this week to go into their intuitive bodies, to trust the path that they're on. Because I'm going to jump to the fourth position because I've got the deer here. Okay, so there's the deer in the headlights, but it's also about gentleness and diplomacy as I allow spirit the next. They're in charge of things. It's very much, our creation is sort of a back and forth. It's very much a partnership with spirit. I go into my being energy, I start my day in a being vibration, and then spirit starts to respond to that. And our being energy, we know, shifts throughout the day. We know that, depending upon certain situations, we can start off in a bad mood in the day and then get in a better mood, or we can start off in a bad mood. All of these subtle vibrations start to create our experiences. So as we sit going, you know what, I really want this thing. I really want, and I know it's coming. And I know in having it, it's going to disrupt my life. The very thing, good news, bad news, all news in some ways disrupts the flow because the flow is constantly changing. And in the opportunity obstacle, we have the mystique again, and we have the leadership card. Mystique is a card of process. This is the process of Pisces standing in leadership for themselves, continually standing in the vision of what they want. Because in the angel's advice is Merlina. Merlina is a card of indecision, needing more research. But right now, I'm just going to think that this is about being confused because I don't know what's going on. I'm sitting in a yes-no place because this is about having creative thought. This is about having creative thought while spirit is moving things around. So this could be the type of thing where okay, so I want to say this for Pisces. Let's look at it this way. Let's say that you've had some kind of challenging experiences and you're a little you're unsure of your own intuitions. You're unsure of how much you can really trust what you feel versus what you see and you hear. I believe that it's time to actually start to listen to the inner voice and allow the other things to sort of sit by the wayside, and then let spirit confirm with you what your intuitions are, to play into the Pisces energy, versus trying to reason it out, I guess I would say, trying to find that logical evidence to back up your intuitions right now, because there's a this is an interior shift, not a physical shift. It's standing in leadership for yourself as your intuitions grow to a place where you can say, you know what, I don't necessarily, there's just this deep gut feeling that says, hold the line, hold the line, hold the line. And when I say hold the line, I mean, it's not about backing up and it's not necessarily about moving forward. So this is a week for Pisces to take their natural God-given gifts that Neptune gives you. Neptune to me is very much an intuitive card in many ways, or intuitive planet in many ways. Yes, it can be erosive and fanciful, but when you hone its vibration, it's a very spiritual dynamic. So I feel like this is an opportunity for Pisces to step a little bit out of the 3D world, a little bit more into their spiritual body, so that they can conquer their fears a little bit by being gentle as spirit starts to show us a new story, a new idea, a new. I also want to say confirmation of an inner knowing, I guess, an inner knowing without the fear attached to it. An inner knowing that can differentiate between my true inner knowing and my inner wanting and my inner fear. Sounds a little intertwined to me, but makes kind of sense on some level. Okay, so that's it for this Mother's Day Sunday. Again, I want to thank you all for being here. I'm going to thank my trolls for being here. So glad to know that you would rather spend your Sunday with me than with your moms. And I hope you got all your snarkiness out, so you'll be nice to your mommies when you do see them. And for all my loyal watchers and my new people, thank you so much for being here. Again, we have We have the game that we're playing, numbers 1 to 500. You can check the beginning of the video for the numbers that are out of play. I did go do that for you this week. And we'll be off, and we will see you next Sunday at the same time, 11 a.m. Pacific time. If anybody would like to book a reading with me, please go to Lada's website, place your order, and then send me an email, and we will schedule it. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a lovely week. Love to all you moms out there. Have a great week. Bye-bye, everybody.